going on, guys? So we are back out here with another little product review. So I've done a lot of these recently, but that's just because I bought a lot of stuff recently. So today we are going to be looking at the Avid X from St. Croix Rods. Now I picked up the 6'6" version. It's medium light power, fast action. The reason I got this was because the medium power Mojo Bass that I got a couple months ago, I just think it's a little bit too strong and too heavy for a lot of the fish that I target and catch. Even the biggest largemouth and peacocks that I catch, the 3-4 pounders, they're no match for the medium power Mojo Bass. So I'm hoping that the medium light power works a little bit better for these guys. Couple things right off the bat that I really do like about this rod. Number one, I think the power is more accurate. Definitely lighter and a softer blank. If we start down here at the handle, I love the split grip. I just think it feels really good when you're casting, something nice to grab onto. A little bit less weight, but it's more of an aesthetic little purpose. But number two, what I really like is this part right here. So where the reel screws in. It screws in here from the top, so if you look, there are no threads anywhere down here. So when you're holding the reel, no matter how you hold it, there's no threads that are going to be getting burned into your palms here. A lot of the other rods, where you screw in from the bottom, you're left with these plastic threads here. So when you're palming the rod, a lot of times they'll dig into your palm here, and after a couple hours it gets a little uncomfortable. So I love the screw in from the top. Very nice looking handle and super comfortable right now. I think it should be the same once we get on the water, but just in hand right now, it's real nice. The tip, let me move this over a little bit. It is a fast action tip. If we look at that right there, definitely the top third of the rod. Got 9 guides on it, so top of the line. This thing is a little bit pricey, about $220. I was able to get it on sale and got a little bit of a discount on it. If you shop around, you should be able to find that too. Now it has micro guides, like you just saw, got 9 of them. First time using a rod that has like a true micro guide system, so I'm kind of curious how that will play out. Main thing I'm going to be throwing on this rod are just some smaller soft plastics. For jerk baits and kind of moving lures, I think my Mojo Bass is still going to be good for that, but like Ned rigs and kind of smaller presentations, I'm going to be throwing that on here. So this thing is rated for lures between 1/8 of an ounce and 3/8 of an ounce, which is perfect. Most of the time I'm going to be throwing, I think, 1/8 ounce jig heads with soft plastics. The Mojo Bass that I mentioned, I believe the lowest that it is rated, the medium one, is 3/8 of an ounce. So a little bit stronger than this. And then it is rated for between 4 and 10 pounds. So I put 6 pound mono on here, matched it up with a 2500 Daiwa Legalis. And enough of me talking, let's go out there and let's try to catch some fish. My last couple times in my review videos, the fish didn't cooperate too much, but hopefully we can get into a couple here. Alright, so this is the main thing that I got this rod for. It's a 1/8 ounce jig head with a Nikko Hellgrammite soft plastic. Now, it's not big, and it's not really the smallest lure, but it's a little bit, I would say, too small for my medium power Mojo Bass, and it's a little bit too big for my kind of ultralight rod. So I think on this medium light should be good. Let's make a couple casts here, and then some little jigs on the way back. So right now, I could definitely feel the bottom. There's some weeds over here too. So pretty sensitive blank. This is their SC3 graphite, which is about middle of the line as far as St. Croix rods go. Same material that the Mojo Bass is made out of. But so far so good. Nice little soft tip here, which is exactly what I wanted. So let's work our way around here a little bit longer and get into our first fish. Fish on. Definitely a nice bend in this rod. Oh, it's a Mayan. So definitely nice bend. I'm not overpowered. Oh, he's in the weeds. Let's get the snag out. There we go. He's still in the weeds. This was the one thing I was worried about. How much backbone does this rod have to get me out of some structure? Because the Mojo Bass is no problem. There we go. Got him out. Bring this guy on in here. All right, first fish on the new rod. Alrighty, first fish on the new rod. Not a bass, but honestly, Mayan cichlids, they fight a lot harder than largemouths do. So that put a nice little test on the rod. We'll let it go, and let's keep fishing. All right, so the little Hellgrammite paid off, and honestly, that felt just the way I was hoping it would. Medium light power, I think, is great. So far, after one fish, the Avid X is exactly what I was hoping for. I was able to fight the fish. Let me explain this. The fish put a nice bend in the rod. It was able to pull line, but I was still able to pull the fish in. So I didn't overpower the fish like I do with the Mojo Bass, and I wasn't outmatched like if I hooked that fish on an ultralight. So far, I am very happy with the way this rod performed on that fish. Let's keep going around here and get ourselves another one. Fish on. Let's get this guy in here. Little guy, little largemouth. All right, so he flopped out of my hand as I was unhooking him. Felt the bite really well. Even that little dink of a largemouth, I don't know what it was, 9 inches or so. Felt the bite really well. It was overpowered coming in, but I mean, it's a little 9-inch largemouth. So what do you expect? So far the Hellgrammite is producing well. The rod is performing well. Only been here about 15 minutes, so I am happy. Let's keep going and let's test this rod out a little more. Hopefully we can get ourselves a big bass and see how what kind of bend it puts into this rod. All right, so we are probably about 30-40 minutes in. Still just those 2 fish from way in the beginning. Had 2 more hits from what I believe are, oh, there's another one. What's this? Oh, it's off. You kidding me? Little largemouth there. I think that was just a very poor hookup. Actually, I'm not even sure if it was ever hooked. It might have just grabbed onto the end of the soft plastic and held on there. But like I was saying, had 2 more, now 3 more hits from some little, what I believe are little largemouths. But I gotta say, I really like this rod. Real sensitive. SC3 graphite, the same as in my Mojo Bass, but for some reason I think this one is a little bit more sensitive, maybe because it's a little bit lighter. And honestly, it casts really well, which I was worried about, having micro guides and all that. But I can't find anything wrong with this rod right now. I love it. This might be my new favorite rod. Hit it, dude. Hit it. Hit it. All right, we got a peacock over there. Let me try to cast this. Oh, there's some grass on it. Let me back away so he doesn't see me. Clear this grass off. He was definitely interested in it. He's still there. He's swimming around, looking at the ground. I don't know if he's still looking for this. We pull this back in by him. Hit it. He's interested, just not committing to it. I'm gonna try him until he backs away. There we go, fish on. Let's get this guy in. Nice fish. That is a nice peacock. All right, so I would not call this a huge peacock, but it is on the bigger side compared to what I normally catch. He is still got a lot of fight in him. So beautiful fish that Avid X had no problem pulling this guy in. We'll let him go, and hopefully we can get one more of this size. Alrighty, let's keep going. So that was a beautiful peacock. Like I said, not a monster, but decent size, couple pounder. So this Avid X had no problem pulling it in, but I also didn't feel overpowered. So I think medium light, at least in the St. Croix rods, is gonna be the way to go for these guys. Alright, so no more takers on the Hellgrammite. We'll fish it for a few more minutes and I'll be back with a wrap up. But honestly, and I'll talk more about this in a few seconds, but I love this rod. Alrighty, so after about an hour and a half of using the Avid X with that little Hellgrammite on a 1/8 ounce jig head, I don't think this is going overboard when I say this is the best and my favorite rod that I have ever used. It felt amazing in hand. This little handle here is just what I needed. Feels really nice. No threads to grind into your palm. Very, very sensitive. Felt every little bite from those tiny little largemouths. Obviously these bigger fish, that Mayan and this peacock, I was gonna feel those no matter what, but those small largemouths on a stiffer setup, I probably wouldn't if it felt those. Was able to feel the bottom really well. The tip is perfect for jigging this thing, pulling it up off the bottom just as far as you need to. So I'm definitely going to be using this rod more often than probably anything else that I own when I am bass fishing or going after some larger fish. The Mojo Bass, I know I've mentioned that rod a lot. I think I'll stick with that rod from when I'm throwing jerkbait and some larger lures, but for these more kind of smaller finesse presentations, I think this is great. It was not overpowered with that really nice sized peacock, and it didn't overpower the peacock. So I think this is exactly what I was looking for, that right balance in the middle. It's not just set the hook and it's the end of the fight and you're not gonna get spooled. So that was perfect. And really that's all I was looking for with this rod. So this was a nice little first impression test. Stay tuned for the next couple months, because I know I'm going to be throwing this thing around a lot more often, but I think it's perfect. I mean, I wouldn't change a single thing about this rod. So medium light power, 6 foot 6 inch, fast action. The Avid X is a winner.